Hello challengers, ChallengerAoE here, and today we're pushing on with the custom scenario editor, looking at the terrain tab. So the terrain tab, similar to map, the main components are these ones here, and they change everything else that happens. So we'll start on the map brush type. So brush size, self-explanatory. It changes how much area that you're influencing with each stroke of your brush. We have this box here, which contains all your land, all your forest, all your water, terrain, as well as all of it in a list. If you want to search for something quickly and you know its starting letter, such as desert, you can always press D on your keypad and it quickly takes you to D, and I can keep pressing D to scroll through. So what everything enables us to do, first of all, I am going to choose road, broken, and I'll talk about how each of these work. So in layering mode, now this is something that I wasn't used to. It was something that in Age of Empires 2 it didn't have in the standard version. In this version, however, it considers that this terrain here is a layer, the base layer, and by selecting layering mode I can draw over the top of it. So if I take my road, I select layer mode, I can now draw over the top of it, and you can see that I've kind of painted over the original surface. Turning off layering mode with road selected, and you'll see now that I've actually just created a base layer as opposed to a layer over the top. And again, in the original version you would get all sorts of different roads, like you'd get snow roads, and obviously they had fungus road as well. But now if you wanted to create a snow road, you would have to create a base layer of snow. You'd have to go into layering mode, go back to road, and then place your road over the top, and that's how you'd get road and snow together. The next tool we have here is enabling eye candy, and eye candy essentially is randomly generated effects that they add, like little bushes and things. So I'll make the brush a little bit larger so you can see it, and that's it there. So as you can see, I've painted this grass, but it's also auto-generated or randomly generated these small little grass things. It's more about aesthetics and realism than anything else. So if I turn that off, and I can now just draw as per normal. And as you can see, it doesn't generate any of the grass. That's all the eye candy does. No waves on shore is pretty self-explanatory there. It doesn't create the effect of water on the shore. So if I go, I don't know, water, shallow, so I've done that with no waves enabled, and now I'll do it with waves enabled. Ooh. You should be able to see a small animation of the water crashing onto the shore. Mostly occurs in game. Ones like this, it doesn't really occur anyway. So water has a couple of extra special features. It's got water definitions and it's got beach types. So in beach types you can choose what surrounds the water. So if you are making some sort of ice biome, or brown water, it's now got an ice outline. Maybe if you want a beach with some vegetation, you can do that as well. So now I've got that vegetation around the outside. So that's again more of an aesthetic thing. And finally, you've got your water definitions. Now I have zero idea what these are supposed to do. If you've got any clue, definitely leave it in the comments, because that's good learning for all of us. But this is the preset main, this is the preset backup 1, preset backup 2, and Wicked Witch. And to me, they look all the exact same, so I don't think that's super useful. Maybe you can upload your own to change the water effects, but that's how the map tool works. Moving on to elevation, you've got elevations 1 through 7. 1 is your standard elevation we're already at, elevation 1. 2 raises it by a tile, up to 7, which raises it obviously by 7 tiles. And then to remove that, it's just 1 again. Again, in the original version of Age of Empires, they actually allowed you to create indentations where you could go lower than elevation 1, but obviously that's not a useful tool. You might as well just elevate the whole map up to level 2 if you want to make an indent, but it's not something that's common. Moving on, we've got cliffs. 2 types of cliffs here. You've got your granite cliff, and it didn't work, and you've got your sandstone cliff. Now, one thing you'll notice to the keen observer, that is the exact same cliff. I believe that I believe this is a granite cliff, but I believe sandstone cliff is supposed to be the ones that you would see in the African kingdoms. For whatever reason, it isn't coming through. Even if you blank map generated a desert theme, this would still look like a granite cliff. So it's got a bit of a bug there, but hey, what can you do? Moving on to the next brush type, we can go to map copy. Now, this is something that's really cool. So what you can do is you can select copy mode, go to an area that you would like to copy. In this case, I might copy these 2 sections of the path and select copy mode again. And now I have taken that section and I can paste it around the map. I can rotate them, I can flip them, do all sorts of things, and I can also make them change player. So what I'll do is I'll jump ahead. I'm just going to place some cavalry archers here, jump back into terrain, go to map copy. If I want to create a new copy, I go to go copy mode, and you'll see here I can select what I want to copy specifically. Copy all obviously is useful if you want to copy everything, but or if there's only one asset in place, which is just the units. So I can use copy all here, but I'm just going to use copy units because that's exactly what I'm copying. I'm going to select copy mode again, and I'm going to select those and copy mode again, and now I've selected them. If I select no change player to yes change player, and now we'll change this player to player 2, and now when I copy them, I've got player 2 copied from player 1. Really fantastic tool if you want to make mirror matches, but you know, everyone prefers to make a campaign that they can easily win, so why would you do that? Finally, we have arrays. Again, I have no idea why water definition's there. This thing's useless. Again, if you have any idea what the hell you're supposed to do with it, chuck it in the comment. But what you can do here is you can choose what you want to erase. You can't erase base layer terrain, so I can't erase grass because, well, this grass in particular, because it's the base layer. What's it supposed to erase it to? What you can do is erase overlays. So this, as you may recall, was an overlay. We can delete that. The path that was on top of the snow was an overlay. This, however, is a base layer, so we can't erase that. We can erase units, and so now that we've got units, we can't erase anything else. On layering mode, same thing again. We can erase layers, but again, I think I've already just erased all my layers, so not going to work on that one, I'm afraid. And so that is everything from the terrain tab. I'll see you on the next video on the players tab. Catch you, challengers.